Hi students, this is our final video about integers. We've looked at integers, what they are and where we might see them in real life, temperatures, elevations, and dealing with money. We've looked at integers on a number line. We've used that number line to help us add integers. And now we're going to look at what it means to subtract integers. We're going to begin with 4 minus 1, or positive 4 minus positive 1. When I do that on my number line, I'm starting at 4, and then I subtract a value of 1, meaning I move in the negative direction one time. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now, if I'm doing negative 4 and subtracting 1 from that value, I begin at negative 4 and I subtract 1 from that value. Again, I'm moving in a negative direction. So negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Makes it one more negative, even more negative. Okay, for the next two questions, I'm going to be subtracting a negative value. Now let's think about what it means to subtract a negative value. Let's look back at the practical examples we have of integers. If we're talking about temperature, subtracting a negative value, it's a little bit like saying it's getting less cold. If I tell you that it's less cold today, it means it's warmer. The temperatures are going up in a positive direction. So less cold means getting warmer or positive. If I'm talking about elevation, if the sea floor were to get less deep or less negative below the surface, it would actually be moving up, and again, moving in a positive direction. Perhaps the easiest to understand is the final example where we were talking about money. Let's say you had this debt. You owed the bank $100 that you'd borrowed, and someone takes your debt away. If I take away your debt, the money that you owe, it's the same as if I gave you that money. So if I subtract your debt, your negative value that you owe, it would be the same as if I gave you the amount that you owe. So again, we're working with a positive value. An easy way to remember this is if I have a minus sign and a negative sign, they turn into a positive sign together. So we're actually adding that value. So here I have the question 4, subtract a value of negative 1. If I'm subtracting a value of negative 1, I'm actually adding a positive 1. Okay? Because remember, it's getting less cold, it's getting warmer. 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Or 4 minus negative 1 is 5. Let's look at it a different way. I have $4 in my wallet, but I owe my dad $1. My dad says, hey, forget about it. You don't need to give me that dollar. He takes away my debt of 1. Okay, so now it's like I have 5. In this example, I've got negative 4, take away negative 1. So remember, when I take away that negative value, I'm adding a value. I'm moving in the positive direction on my number line. So negative 4, here I am. I'm moving in a positive direction on the number line one time, and I've gone to negative 3. All right, there you have it, subtracting integers.